Hello, Peter here, and this time I'm going to talk about upKeeper 4.11 and what we have done in this version. We have added even better support for Zendesk. So nowadays you can follow the ticket all through the system, you can work with it, you can even work with all the properties of the ticket all through its lifetime. We have been adding more features to the driver part as well, so we will cache the drivers locally when we deploy a new computer, and we can reuse those drivers when we have to reinstall the device. We have also been into the application part of upKeeper and added the property to manage applications in a silent way. So when we deploy or uninstall an application from a client device, it won't disturb the user using that device. When it comes to MFA, we have added more features or better features to that part as well, so that you can use external email services like SendGrid and other to deploy MFA and use the email verification part for MFA. So let's jump into the system and look at a few of these features. Let's log in, put the name and so on, and we come to the home screen and we have upgraded to 4.11. Let's go to tickets, one of the things we have done, and let's start out with create one new ticket. We have added external requesters, so you can add them directly into the system through upKeeper. You add a name and email, but for this demo we'll use a known customer at example.com. We'll assign it to a group and myself from that group, and we will add my private email address as a CC, so we'll get all information on that email address as well. We add some tags to the ticket as well, so we can easily search through our tickets and find similar tickets for 11 and demo like that. And the type, this will be a question, and we set the priority to normal, add a subject, great, oops, demo, so yeah, great demo, right, like that, perfect. And now we have filled out all the fields we have to. We'll create it. It will take a minute to get to the system and back, so to say. We'll save it, and the API from Zendesk side will update within a minute, and we can refresh it to force it. Here we go. We have the new ticket, and we can go into the ticket by clicking on it. And we can change everything that we want to. If it's not a question anymore, it's more of a problem. If the priority changes, if you want to add something to the case, any question to the customer and so on, we can see the information about the case, of course. But so we can work with the case and the tickets further on. Let's move on, and we'll go to drivers and hardware. This is the basic way to do it. We have drivers, we have specified it in the settings, and on our shares we have had drivers folder called drivers, and under that we have had folders for specific drivers, so that's a match. And we have copied it to the clients, but we have updated drivers as well. We've done it through a few versions, but now it's final. So we have a path like before, but this path is actually not from the share, it's from the stage part. So among the other applications you can find drivers and the folder for this specific driver. And all the base address is always under the configuration of the organization. And it's the same for applications and drivers. And when we find that, if you update it, you have to update the package, of course, and push the button. And we can find these new files. They are saved under the organization folder with all the other applications WIMs files. And if you find the ID, you can match it to the ID in the folder, and that's the WIM we see over there. And the settings part is actually ignored. It's used for the installation of the operating system, but it won't be copied if the drivers is specified on the last tab under the hardware. So let's move on and see what we have done under applications. If you have applications like configuration applications or applications that you don't really want users to take notice of, we have added a feature, and we have this application WinGet Tools. We go to Advanced, and we have added a feature Do Not Show a client pop-up. So you can specify that the client won't get any notice about this application. It won't pop up in the right corner on the client side. And this is really useful when it comes to configuration applications and such. It's a small feature, but really useful, I would say. Next, let's move on and go to multi-factor authentication. Really recommend everyone to use it in their installations. And we have added more features when it comes to the mail configuration. And if you are to use mail configuration with MFA, you have to start with going into the web config file of the API. And then you add the address, and we really recommend SendGrid, works perfectly. And you specify the SendGrid information, so the base information, and you have to also add the app settings config. And if you go into that file as well, let's open that one, you add the user and the password. It's a really long password when it comes to SendGrid, which is great, and this is of course a fake one. And if you are using TFA, you have to remember to enable it. In this demo we have not enabled it, so you have to enable, and you have to have this username and password to get everything to work, and then you can have these MFA emails sent to the customer instead of using the application. But the application is the best way. When it comes to groups, we have added a feature as well. So if you are about to delete, you get how many computers are affected. This is really great, so that you know that you can't delete groups and don't notice that you have a lot of computers affected. And if you select multiple groups, you get the sum of that computers that will be affected. And this is 9 computers that will be affected. And it might be applications, it might be tasks, and so on. If you want to know more about this release 4.11, go to the support site, upKeeper, and search for 4.11, or go down to the good to know part, and you can click on it, and you get all the information about the new features we have added to this version. And you can go all the way down and you see the bug fixes as well, so you get all the information about this. If you want more details, you can go into the release notes and look at them, and you can of course download a new client and distribute that if you want as well. If you want more information about the company and the product, you can start up by going to the upkeeper.se, and you can search through all our website and book a demo if you want. But if you want more detail about support and the product, I recommend the support site. So go to the homepage of that and search, or go through the different categories, or to the community part On the community part, you can find different topics as well, and the product feedback, so you can find everything there. So thank you for watching. Remember, work less, manage more.